Come here, Mr. Watson. I want to see you.
Those were the famous first words spoken into the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell, considered by many the father of the modern telephone.
On March 10, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell invented the first telephone and patented the design hours before a competitor named Elisha Gray could patent his own design and idea.
Get this patented! Yes, sir, look at me. I've got it! From afar, I've got it! The first telephone patent shall be mine, and nobody else's. It's mine! Ah! Oh, it's mine, Mr. Patent! Yes, sir, look at me. Oh gosh. Yeah, I've come to patent the telephone. Already patented? By who? Alexander Graham Bell! Why, that conniving little... I can't believe him.
In the summer of 1877, the Bell Telephone Company was funded and created by Gardner Hubbard, naming Theodore Vail the general manager of the company. In 1876, a company named the Western Union also had several patents regarding telephones. Refusing to yield to Mr. Hubbard's offer to buy the patents, they hired Thomas Edison to improve their design over that of the Bell Companies. The Bell Company was now hard-pressed with besting Edison's superior design.
Not let Edison beat me! I must best his design! Oh my gosh, the future of the company depends on me. I could never live it down if this company fell because of me. Oh, it's just a futile attempt!
In the December of 1877, the American-speaking telephone company used Elisha Gray's designs to rival those of the Bell Company, thus thrusting them into a political war. After winning the lawsuit against the Western Union and the American-speaking telephone companies, the Bell Company focused on creating a newer transmitter to beat that of Edison's, which is exactly what they did.
In the end, the Western Union Company relinquished all of its patents and inventory of telephones to the Bell Company, which became the American Bell Telephone Company in 1879.
After the Bell Company upgraded to metallic circuits, a man from Kansas City named Almond Stroger decided to challenge the Bell Company by creating an automatic telephone which could dial buttons with numbers and connect without the need of operators. This exponentially increased connection time.
No. That Bell Company, they just don't know what they're doing. Maybe I'll make my own. You know, company, my own receivers. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go get some work done. Ma, Pa!
Stroger's company was such a success because it broke what the general populace felt was a monopolistic grip on the telephone business. Stroger's company located and spread to places the Bell Company couldn't.
As public distrust of the Bell Company grew, other, independent companies began spreading into the Bell Company's territory. In fact, public distrust was so high that even farmers began to build their own telephones and receivers that also challenged the Bell Company. However, the Bell Company's figures still dwarfed those of all the other independent companies combined. As other companies began to rival the services of the Bell Company, and as the Bell Company's services began to decline, they looked to Thomas Vail to lead them once again. After he had left the company, he decided to come back after refusing a first offer and accepting a second one. Upon his return, he created Bell Laboratories.
In 1915, the Bell Company began to expand rapidly. They began to complete connections overseas wirelessly and were able to complete a connection between New York and San Francisco. In 1921, the Bell Company began to enter the dial service system as it debuted in the city of Dallas. The 20s were also able to produce a new style of telephone, the French handset telephone.
When the Great Depression hit, the telephone business took a big hit. Long-distance calls decreased by 40%, and Western Electric, the main supplier of the Bell Company, laid off nearly all of its workers. In the 1930s, the Bell Company helped the United States recover from a massive hurricane, improving their public standing. Also during the 30s, World War II was still raging, and taking the government's attention away from the telephone industry. By the time the war was over, many servicemen had to return and were in need of work, and telephones.
The 40s were mostly happy times for telephone companies. The first commercial mobile phones began to be used. In 1948, Bell Laboratories won a Nobel Peace Prize for their work in creating the transistor. In 1949, rumors began to surface of breaking apart the Bell Company system. The Justice Department began to file lawsuits against the Bell system. But, with Republican President Dwight D. Eisenhower in power, the case was postponed. In 1956, the lawsuit against the Bell system was settled, which placed limitations in the Bell system's communications. As a new man took control of the company, Frederick Capel, the Bell system began to release new phones and innovations. Despite flourishing in the 60s, it came to a close on a bad note. Labor strikes divided power and crippled communications among the Bell system. In the 70s, the government allowed independent companies to install direct communications among businesses. This provided direct competition with the Bell Company. Then, in 1974, the government filed a lawsuit against the Bell Company in order to break the monopoly. The case went to court in 1979 and was assigned to a judge biased towards opposing the Bell system, Harold Green. In 1983, the Bell system had been successfully disbanded into 7 baby bells.
Judge Harold, what do you want? I have a case I'd like to bring into your court. What case is it? I want you to break apart the Bell system. Yes, I'll do it. That Bell Company will fall, and I will be the one to make it.
Whether the breaking up of the Bell system was the right thing to do is debatable. Regardless of this, new phones are still being developed, and all modern-day phones owe a debt of gratitude to Alexander Graham Bell.
You know, I could make a phone out of this. It'd be a really good company, too. Make millions. I'm gonna try that. Oh, Mr. Wozniak!